Scottsbluff County has a set of more detailed regulations governing the future siting and development of solar power generation facilities. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Plat Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News powered by Plat Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, Scottsbluff County now has a set of more detailed regulations governing the future siting and development of solar power generation facilities. After another extended discussion on the subject, on Monday evening, the Board of Commissioners voted 4-1 in favor of approving the updated requirements for conditional use permits for small to utility scale solar projects. The lone dissent in the group came from Charlie Knapper, who said even though the new regulations were much more rigorous, he still wasn't comfortable with what was proposed.
These haven't been updated since 1996. We've looked at these for a total of 3 hours now. I'm not about to rush through this on something that's going to sit in place then for who knows how long, or open the door for an application to come in where these aren't good enough.
Among other things, a company wanting to build such a facility will be required to hold a public forum before their conditional use permit application, with notice to the public and nearby landowners, and commissioners added language requiring a final approval by the board before a building permit is issued. With the approval, the board is expected to remove solar projects from a renewable energy development moratorium at their next meeting, with staff starting to work on similar requirements for any future wind power projects. Well, a Scottsbluff couple has been approved a micro TIF grant as they look to breathe new life into a downtown building. Eric and Brandy Reichert appeared before the City Council this week, seeking funding for redeveloping the old Western Trail Sports Building at the corner of Broadway and 18th Street.
Be, updated and a nice addition to downtown with all the other improvements that are going on. It's also a really nice location, being right across the street from the plaza that was just reconstructed. So the plan for the building is to build out 2 updated commercial office spaces on the main floor. It's a very big building with really good bones, but it needed and needs everything.
City Economic Development Director Sharia Toof did explain to Council that this project checked all the boxes needed to be eligible for a micro TIF grant. Currently, the building is assessed at roughly $140,000, and when the improvements are completed, it's expected to be valued at approximately $1.25 million. We'll have more news right after this.
Looking for free instead of fees? Plat Valley Bank can help you keep your finances moving forward with no ATM fees. Whether you're headed to the lake, the mountains, or just to the grocery store, you can enjoy the freedom of free ATM access anywhere, anytime. Plat Valley Bank. You belong here.
When it comes to your health, you deserve the very best. At Morrill County Community Hospital, they provide top-notch care with compassion and expertise. From routine checkups to advanced surgeries, their dedicated team is here for you 24/7. With state-of-the-art technology and a patient-first approach, they ensure you and your loved ones receive the highest quality care. Because at Morrill County Community Hospital, your health is their priority. Visit Morrill County Community Hospital today in Bridgeport. Morrill County Community Hospital. Exceptional care right here at home.
Welcome to Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. Whether you're a wine enthusiast, a whiskey sommelier, a tequila connoisseur, or you just love your beer, Kelly's has the best selection of what you're looking for. Family owned and operated since 1946 and right on 27th Street in Scottsbluff. Come see us today at Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. And remember to be a good neighbor. Don't drink and drive. Kelly's Liquor, West 27th Street in Scottsbluff.
Welcome back. A rural Scottsbluff man who defrauded Home Depot stores in Cheyenne and Scottsbluff with a merchandise scheme will not spend any additional time behind bars. Last month, 69-year-old Laverne Meyer pleaded guilty to 2 Scottsbluff County theft by deception charges. And yesterday, Meyer was sentenced to the 18 days time already served and 6 months probation, which includes 50 hours of community service to a nonprofit organization. As part of the plea agreement that dropped 15 other theft charges, Meyer has also paid back nearly $4,500 in restitution to the Scottsbluff Home Depot. Well, U.S. Senators Pete Ricketts and Deb Fischer of Nebraska have announced their intent to introduce the Stand with Israel Act when the Senate reconvenes in November. This legislation would cut off U.S. funding to the United Nations and stop support to agencies that expel, downgrade, suspend, and restrict the participation of the State of Israel. Ricketts says the U.S. will not stand by and allow the rampant anti-Semitism at the United Nations to go unchallenged. Fisher added that diminishing Israel's status within the UN would be a slap in the face to democracies across the globe. And strong performance reported by Omaha's Union Pacific Railroad this week, as the transportation company reported solid revenue growth in the third quarter of the year. In a release, UP Corporation reported an 11% increase in operating income of $2.4 billion and net income of $1.7 billion compared to $1.5 billion a year ago, up 10% on a per diluted share basis. UP Chief Executive Officer Jim Vena said improved safety and service performance supported solid revenue growth that converted into double-digit improvements. The railroad said it expected short-term future results to show similar results in the fourth quarter into the end of this year.
Fly United Airlines, operated by SkyWest with Western Nebraska Regional Airport. United is dedicated to going the extra mile for you with daily flights to and from Denver, along with a commitment to excellent service. Reserve your flight today, and remember, United miles can be earned and redeemed with your flights. While at the airport, stop and enjoy authentic Italian food at Roma Italian Restaurant. Plus, Hertz Thrifty Car Rental is there for your car rental needs. Make life easier, relax, and get on board with Western Nebraska Regional Airport.
I imagined retirement in a place where we could enjoy our golden years, where adventure and friendship are the only items on the schedule. The Garden Homes at Northfield gives us the luxury we planned for and peace of mind when it comes to convenience, safety, and comfort. We never have to stop and think about the day-to-day upkeep. We love to explore abroad, but most importantly in our backyard. So much to do, so much to see. Here at Northfield, we get the protection of life care, incredible tax benefits, and secured rates for aging services. It's peaceful, knowing that if our needs change, we'll be taken care of. And most importantly, that our kids will never have to make any tough decisions. There never seemed to be enough time to do all the things we wanted. Now we get to focus our energy on enjoying what this community has to offer. At the Garden Homes, life is ours again. A place we had dreamed about. A chance to focus on us.
October is Renewal by Anderson's United Against Cancer campaign, and when Renewal offered to pay for employees' radon testing and mitigation, several Renewal team members found radon in their homes. Deb was one of them, and she always wondered how she got breast cancer. Radon causes cancer. It's linked to Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. Radon is a killer.
People don't know about radon. They don't know what a killer it is, and they don't know how cheap it is to have it tested.
From all of us at Renewal by Anderson, please get a radon test now. It could save your life.
This is KNEB.TV Ag News from the Scottsbluff Body and Paint Ag Desk. Scottsbluff Body and Paint, you're driving home our reputation.
Coverage of the 97th National FFA Convention and Expo is presented by the College of Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln and the Nebraska FFA Foundation.
We're at the 97th National FFA Convention and Expo, and I'm pleased to be joined now with Stacey Agnew. She is the Executive Director of the Nebraska FFA Foundation. Stacey, FFA Convention has now grown. 70,000 students attend this event in Indianapolis. It's been a long way since the days in Kansas City when I'm sure you attended.
Yeah, as in the late 90s. No, let me back. In the late 90s, I was an ag teacher.
Yep.
And I did take students to Kansas City. So when I was an FFA member, we were obviously in Kansas City. And then Louisville, I was able to take students there for a couple years. So yeah, I'm excited to walk around and check out everything, attend an opening session today, and the energy's awesome.
Yes.
It's really exciting.
A lot of energy in the air, and this year in particular, FFA celebrating 1 million members nationwide. That's a trend you and I often talk about with the Nebraska FFA continuing to grow, and seems like more and more interest in agricultural education, correct?
It is. Right now, this year, there are 4 new programs. We're at 218 FFA chapters in Nebraska. Membership is getting really close to 12,000. I think back to when I was a teacher, and it was probably closer to 5,000. So really exciting that more young people can learn more about ag jobs and ag experiences and careers.
Okay, well, let's talk about logistics for a second of getting Nebraska FFA members to Indianapolis, Indiana. Kind of 2 choices. Some people get on a bus, travel as a chapter with a group there.
Right.
And I actually flew down with the Valentine FFA chapter. They did a flight. So kind of 2 different ways. But what I'm getting at is it does cost a little bit to come to National FFA Convention. And I was curious, as somebody who deals with fundraising, how chapters kind of go about this process of getting to convention.
You know, when we talk about chapter budgets and we talk about experiences that we want young people to have outside of their local FFA chapter, that obviously costs money to hotel rooms, food, and transportation. And so it's important for viewers to understand that these experiences are really critical for FFA members to have. And it does cost money, and that's not typically things that we will fund on the FFA Foundation level. So it does require local support, families, potentially writing that check to the local FFA chapter for their child to attend leadership conferences or conventions like this. So yes, I mean, it can get really expensive. If you can just even imagine if your own family I'm thinking my family of 5, I mean, it's several thousand, $5,000 just to go on a vacation. So imagine if you're taking 8 to 10 students, right? And adults and chaperones, it does add up.
But of course, the next task here in Indianapolis is keeping track of all those students as they experience FFA. Lots of fun, though. Let's talk about the work of the Nebraska FFA Foundation. Busy time for you and your staff right now. The I Believe in the Future of Ag campaign is underway. What's that all about?
Oh, we love the I Believe in the Future of Ag campaign. So it's very unique where a local or anyone can give to support a local Nebraska FFA chapter through the Nebraska FFA Foundation. And then we have $30,000 in matching funds. So that donation, 100% goes back to the chapter and then some matching dollars on top of that. Obviously, when we talk about funding chapters to have events like these, the I Believe is a great way for a local individual to support that local FFA chapter by writing a donation to the Nebraska FFA Foundation. There's close to $300,000 to $400,000 that is raised every year to support local chapters. And so we just think that we would encourage people, if they want to give to support Nebraska FFA chapters, to go to our website, check it out, and help get kids to places like National Convention. They're really, it can change their life.
Absolutely. Hear that all the time with state FFA officers, many of the national officers will cite those experiences. Let's also mention this. I had the chance to share this on one of our ag newscasts recently. The Golden Owl Awards. Those are now open, accepting nominations. I think through about the first of the year, correct?
It closes at the very end of the year, December 31st. So if you go to our website, we have a link right there for the Golden Owl Award. We honor Nebraska FFA advisors, but they're nominated. They can be nominated by anyone, students, parents, community members, administration. We honor 6 FFA advisors during state convention. They each receive a $500 cash award. And then the Ag Teachers Association selects the overall Golden Owl Award winner, and that ag teacher receives a $3,000 cash award. It's from the foundation, but it's sponsored by Nationwide. And so I got to tell you, last year we had 90 teachers that were nominated.
Wow.
And there's close to 250 FFA advisors in Nebraska. So there are more people that can be nominated. So I just really think it's important that we lift up these hardworking teachers and individuals with the work that they do. Oh my gosh, giving our children just an amazing experience with FFA.
Okay, let's round out our conversation with this. Behind us, a lot of blue and gold corduroy jackets. They made the trip, got all pressed and ready to be in the big spotlight. But those FFA jackets are an important piece of the Nebraska FFA Foundation. You all are working locally to make sure students get a jacket, one they can call their own.
We did. We just finished our Blue Jacket Bright Future selection process. There were a little over 200 FFA members that received a jacket from us. So there is something pretty special. You know this, Bryce. When you either are wearing the hand-me-down jacket that's from the FFA chapter closet of all the jackets, and it may or may not have a name or somebody else's name, there's something about having your own FFA jacket with your name on. And as you see students walking around here, there is something that just, you get a little more pep in your step and, when you have your own jacket. And so we feel very blessed to be able to help a little over 200 students in Nebraska have their own jacket.
That's awesome. I'm sure there's some really neat reactions to getting those blue jackets in the mail as well. Stacey Agnew with the Nebraska FFA Foundation been our guest. Also to mention, they are one of our sponsors making this convention coverage possible. So Stacey, thank you very much for joining us as we try to bring some of these stories back to the Cornhusker State.
You deserve to have a building that will last for generations. With more than 110 years of experience and thousands of satisfied customers, Morton Buildings is the industry leader you can trust. If you're planning for a garage, farm shop, horse barn, storage building for your RV, boat, or collectibles, there's no better time to buy. Contact your local Morton sales office or visit mortonbuildings.com to get started today.
Let's take a peek at your weekend meeting calendar, brought to you by Riverstone Bank. The community calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. We're local and we love our community.
Tri-City Stormwater presents Stormwater 101, an illicit discharge.
Tired of feeling stuck? Not sure if you are on the right track? Plat Valley Bank can help keep your finances moving forward with checking account options to fit your lifestyle and an online account chooser to make finding the right account easy. Control your financial future with helpful budgeting tools and automatic savings plans. Now is the time to enjoy the ride with Plat Valley Bank. You belong here.
And finally tonight, departments with the City of Scottsbluff did a great job staying within budget over the course of the fiscal year that just wrapped up. Finance Director Lane Kazire presented the report to the City Council Monday night and noted that the only outlier was within the GIS department, which was at 103% of budget.
ESRI does our maps. Typically we pay that in October every year. It's usually due in September and they let us push it back to October. They didn't let us do that this year. And so we had, and that's a $15,000 a year contract, so there's not a lot of leeway in that budget anyway. So he was over $3,000, but that contract it's paid for this year until September again. But we had to pay that contract twice, essentially this year. Other than that, everybody else did a really good job staying within budget.
Kazire also noted that the Streets Department was at 99% of their budgeted expenses for the fiscal year, but that was in part to having two sizable street projects on the books. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday.